Welcome back, and thank you for joining us again for Fast Food Facts, Things We Should Know. It's part of the series Life in the Fast Food Lane, presented by Employee Wellness and the Wellness Center. I'm your host, Paul Moore, and today what we'll do is we'll look at some of the restaurants and some of the menu items. We'll take a look at the values for these items and how they can compare to each other and how they fit or don't fit into your plan. The first thing we want to take a look at are some of the goals and objectives for the presentation. So if you want to know why we were discussing this, the first one is to provide an overview. So we want to know how fast foods fit into your plan, or potentially how they don't fit, or possibly how they may fit into your plan. So we want to take a look at that. We also want to list some ways that we can make fast foods healthier, some possible things that we can do, or some alternative choices to maybe our favorite options that may be a little bit healthier for us. The last 2 points, we want to make sure we know the numbers and we want to make smart choices. If we don't know our numbers and we don't know the restaurant's numbers, then we really don't have an idea about whether they fit, how they fit, if they may fit, or how we can make them fit into our daily nutrition plan. And then lastly, we want to make smart choices. We want to have the information so that we can make an informed and educated decision. So let's start and take a look and see what we get. Now, we've already taken a look at this, so if you have it, you can get it out and take a look at it. Remember, these are things that are important for us to know. We talk about the needs for most people in a day. We approximate that the majority of the population needs between 15 and 2,500 calories per day. Remember, we said this is variable based on our height and weight, our activity level, our gender, our age, but we're going to get a pretty good idea if we stick between the 15 to 2,500 calorie range when we're looking at comparing the fast food numbers. Of that 15 to 2,500 calories per day, we're looking at 30 to 100 grams of fat per day. 10 grams or less of that fat should be saturated. We said where at all possible, we really do want to minimize the amount of saturated fat as well as trans fat that is in our diet. Those are going to be the two unhealthy types of fat. So we really want to look at minimizing those values. As far as protein goes, we need approximately 65 to 100 grams per day. 2 to 4 grams of sodium per day. If you recall, we said that when we look at our food labels, we see those in milligrams. So 2 to 4 grams of sodium per day, or 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams. And then the one thing that we want to try to increase on our diet is fiber. We want to strive to get 25 to 40 grams of fiber per day. If you'll recall, we said that the average American gets in the neighborhood of about 8 grams per day. So we really want to try to increase the amount of fiber in our diet. So what I'd like to do from here is, if you have this information, keep it in front of you, and we're going to go through and look at some of the major fast food restaurants and some of the choices that they offer and see how they compare to these values. So if we start at Wendy's, you can see that Wendy's got, if we start with some of the salad examples, they've got these salads. They range in calories from 190 to 440. They range in fat grams from 2 grams to 22 grams. And so you can take a look at some of the values here, but keep in mind that these don't include what? What do we think about? That's right, the salad dressing. Okay, so we have to be careful for the salad dressing. The creamy ranch has 230 calories. It's got 23 grams of fat. Honey mustard has 280 calories, 26 grams of fat. Blue cheese, 260 and 27. Thousand Island, 290 and 28 grams of fat. You'll notice in a future slide we can get a hamburger that's got the equivalent number of calories and number of fat grams as that packet of salad dressing from Wendy's. So we want to be careful for the salad dressings. They do have healthy options. We can get a reduced fat ranch. You can see that it's still about 70% fat, but it is less fat at 8 grams and less calories at 100. There's a fat-free French with 80 calories. There's also a low-fat honey mustard with 110 calories and 3 grams of fat. If we look at some of the other options at Wendy's, the classic single with everything, which would be their number one, it's got 410 calories, 19 grams of fat, 910 milligrams of sodium. The Big Bacon Classic, not on the menu that way anymore, but when it was, 580 calories and 29 grams of fat. And then you can see some of the other options. When we compare fries, the largest size, 530 calories and 23 grams of fat, compared to the medium at 390 and 17. So you can see that making the switch from a larger size to a smaller size can influence and affect the number of calories that we're going to consume in a meal. So a classic single combo with medium fries and a Diet Coke is going to have 800 calories. It's going to have 36 grams of fat. The thing to keep in mind with this is if we get a larger size, we're going to add calories. If we get a regular Coke instead of a Diet Coke, we're going to add calories. So all things to keep in mind when we're looking at making our decision. As far as healthier side items go, instead of French fries, we can choose a sour cream and chive potato. It's got 340 calories. It's got 6 grams of fat. A regular side salad, 35 and 0. Mandarin orange cup, 80 and 0. Small chili, 220 and 6. Low fat strawberry flavored yogurt, 140 and 1.5 grams of fat. So we can get any of these options instead of French fries, and they're going to be healthier from a calorie and fat perspective. If we think about the small chili, it's also going to be full of beans, which are a good source of protein as well as fiber. The small chili is going to have about 6 to 8 grams of fiber, which is about a third of what we need if we're looking at the low end, or the 25 grams of fiber that you can see we need in the course of a day. So think about any of these options for side items at Wendy's the next time you go. If we look at Burger King, you can see the Whopper with cheese has 800 calories. It's got 49 grams of fat and 18 grams of saturated fat. Remember, we really want to shoot for 10 grams or less from saturated fat. You can see that this will almost double that number. Double Whopper with cheese from Burger King, 1060 for calories, 69 grams of fat, and now we've got almost triple the number of saturated grams of fat that we need in the course of a day at 27. Double cheeseburger, 280 calories, 31 grams of fat. Not too bad with the calories, but a little bit high with fat. You can see if you're comparing, we need 30 to 100 grams per day, and so that 30 grams would take care of that by itself. The original chicken sandwich at Burger King, 560 calories, 28 grams of fat. Large French fries, 500 calories and 25 grams of fat. So again, if we're looking at a Whopper value meal, you're looking at about 1,300 calories and just under 75 grams of fat in that value meal. And you can see how that would compare to our estimates of what we need during the course of a regular day. Burger King also has a triple Whopper with cheese. You can see that that's got almost 2,000 calories, 104 grams of fat, almost 37 grams of saturated fat. So that would be the equivalent to almost what we would need in the course of a week. And it's got 2,230 milligrams of sodium. So you can see that this is definitely not going to be a great choice at Burger King. Burger King's going to be a little bit tougher to find healthier options. You could look at a Whopper Jr. without mayonnaise or cheese, 310 calories, 13 grams of fat. An original chicken sandwich without mayonnaise, 450 calories, 17 grams of fat. Again, a little bit high with the calories, but it is reduced, and it is have lower grams of fat than the original with mayonnaise. Tender grilled chicken garden salad, 240 and 9. Again, just remember your salad dressing there. And we can get just a regular salad instead of fries, a regular side salad, 15 calories. There's a fat-free ranch. It's got 60 calories. So those are some of the options and things that we could do at Burger King to make our items a little potentially healthier. All right, moving along, let's take a look at Backyard. You can see some of their burgers here. For example, we've got the 3rd Pound Backyard Burger. It's got 470 calories. It's got 29 grams of fat. We've got the Bacon Cheddar at 620 calories and 42 grams of fat. Mushroom Swiss, 540 and 36. And then you can see a Ranch Baked Potato, 410 and 22. Be careful with the Ranch Baked Potato. With the ranch and the butter and the cheese, it's going to be a little bit higher in calories and fat than the one we'll look at in just momentarily. And then the seasoned fries at Backyard have 260 calories and 16 grams of fat. Again, we want to keep in mind the serving size there. Some of the healthier choices we could look at include some of their chicken sandwiches. They've got a savory chicken, at $2.30 and $6, blackened chicken at $2.90 and $11, salsa baked potato at $2.50 and $5, and of course at Backyard we can get a side salad as well. Okay, so maybe we could pair up one of these chicken sandwiches with the baked potato, or we could pair up one of the chicken sandwiches with a side salad as a healthier alternative. Moving along to Chick-fil-A and looking at some of their options, the original chicken sandwich, $4.10 and $16, waffle fries, $2.80 and $14, chicken strips, $2.90 and $13, 8 nuggets, $2.60 and $12. Remember to keep in mind with all of the items at Chick-fil-A or the sauces, your mayonnaise, your ranch, your Chick-fil-A sauce, all those are going to add calories and potentially add fat. One thing that we can do with the original chicken sandwich is they actually, in the preparation, they roll the bun in butter for the original chicken sandwich. And so what you can do to save a little bit of calories and a little bit of fat there is to ask them for the sandwich with no butter, and they'll give you a bun that's not been rolled in butter. So it'll save a little bit there. Always a good idea. Chick-fil-A, some other items that you could try. Char grilled sandwich, $2.80 and $7. The Cool Wrap, $3.80 and $6. The char grilled chicken garden salad, $1.80 and $6. And then instead of fries, we can have a fruit cup with 70 calories, a side salad with 60 calories. So again, maybe we can pair some of these options up, or if we get the original chicken sandwich, maybe we can get a fruit cup with that instead of the fries. But again, remember to keep in mind your salad dressings, your dipping sauces, your mayonnaise, your ranch, all those things in ordering. But those are a list of solid, healthy options to choose from at Chick-fil-A. At Taco Bell, we've got some of these options. Nachos Bel Grande, 780 calories, 43 grams of fat. If you go down to the taco salad, 790 calories and 42 grams of fat. Beef Burrito Supreme, 440 and 18. The last one, the Zesty Chicken Border Bowl, 730 and 42. So you can see that these aren't going to be our healthiest options as far as Taco Bell is concerned, but some of the main menu items there. If we look at some of the kind of healthy alternative, Taco Bell offers what they call fresco style. It substitutes a Fiesta salsa for the cheese and sauce that are on some of the regular menu items. They have 15 items for under 10 grams of fat. You cannot get every menu item this way, but you can get some of kind of their staple menu items that way. So in the fresco style, a beefy, crunchy tacos will have 150 calories and 7 grams of fat. The Ranchero Chicken Soft Taco will have 170 and 4 grams of fat. This is a good alternative for people that don't like cheese as well, because they've taken the cheese off in place of the salsa. So again, we can't get every item this way, but some of the main ones we can get this way, and in doing so will help us save on calories as well as fat. Back to some of the regular menu items. The Chicken Soft Taco at 190 and 6. Bean Burrito, 370 calories, 10 grams of fat. It's got 8 grams of fiber. Remember, if we're trying to get to the low end of our fiber recommendation, which is 25 grams. 8 grams is about a third of that. So that's a start in the right direction for increasing our fiber. Tostada 250 and 10. Chicken Enchilada 350 and 14. Regular taco 170 and 10. Okay, so again, you can see some of the potentially healthier items at Taco Bell. We take a look at Subway, and if you'll note, all of these values will be for the 6-inch subs without mayonnaise on their regular Italian wheat bread. If we start on the left-hand side and we look at some of these options, we have the tuna, the Italian BLT, the cold cut trio, the Subway melt, the steak and cheese, and the meatball. So just think for a moment about what you think of these is the healthier option, and which of these do you think is the least healthy. So let's think about calories and let's think about fat. Which of these is going to have the lowest number of calories? Which one is going to have the highest number of calories? So take a second to think about that. See if you can formulate your answer. Most people are going to guess that the tuna sub is going to have the lowest number of calories. Most people will think that the steak and cheese and the meatball are the two highest. Is that what you thought? So let's take a look at how we compare. So if we pull up the numbers for these, we can actually see that the tuna has got 460 calories, so it's not the highest, but it's definitely not the lowest either. You can see that the steak and cheese here is a surprise at 390 calories and 14 grams of fat. So from this list, it has actually the lowest number of calories and the lowest number of grams of fat. The meatball, you would have guessed correctly, is the highest at 540 calories and 26 grams of fat. But the surprise here is the tuna and is the steak and cheese. So if we go into Subway, a lot of times people will think the steak and cheese is not so healthy. Instead, we'll get the tuna, so we're trying to make the healthy choice, but we get fooled, and in actuality, tuna is going to be the higher, and steak and cheese is going to be the lower. So we have a really good example here of knowing the numbers ahead of time, allowing us to make an informed decision, and also one that's potentially a better tasting option for us, and one that we would rather have anyway, but we may not due to what we think the number of calories and fat would be. So a good example for us there. Other things at Subway, these are the items that are listed on their cups, on their napkins. Veggie Delight 230 and 3, turkey breast 280 and 4.5, down through to the roasted chicken breast at 330 and 5. Those subs would include lettuce, tomatoes, onions, green peppers, olives, and pickles. Remember, if we add cheese or we add mayonnaise, we're going to add to the number of calories and the number of fat. The other thing that these are for 6-inch subs, so we're just going to double those numbers if we get the 12-inch sub. But definitely some healthier options at Subway. We can also get a wrap as one of the potential options as well. If we take a look at Hardee's, Hardee's has the 2/3 pound double bacon thick burger. It has 1,300 calories. It's got 96 grams of fat. You can see if you look at your numbers, we need approximately 30 to 100 grams per day. That's almost going to max that out just in the sandwich itself. 1/3 pound thick burger, 850 calories, 57 grams of fat. 1/3 pound bacon cheese thick burger, 910 and 63. 1/2 pound $6 burger, 1120 and 73. Grilled sourdough, 1174. So you can see that we don't have a whole lot of healthy choices on that list at Hardee's that we're looking at. There's also a buffalo chicken sandwich, 780 and 36. So we can take a second and take a look at how those values compare to what we need throughout the course of a day. Other options at Hardee's, their medium french fries, 520 calories, 24 grams of fat. If we're looking at breakfast items to compare biscuits, you can see the sausage biscuit, 530 calories, 38 grams of fat. Bacon, egg, and cheese, 560 and 38. They've got a low-carb breakfast bowl at 620 calories and 50 grams of fat. And so if you take a look at that, it is low-carb, but this should dispel the myth that low-carb is healthy. because there's really not a whole lot healthy there. I mean, it's full of calories, it's full of fat, as well as saturated fat. Medium hash browns, 350 calories, 22 grams of fat. At Hardee's, there's 11 sandwiches that have more than 1,000 calories. If you look on the right, that is the low-carb breakfast bowl. So like I said, again, that is definitely low-carb, but should dispel the myth that low-carb is a healthy option. Again, it's loaded with calories and fat, as well as saturated fat. This is the Hardee's Monster Thick Burger. The Monster Thick Burger has 420 calories. It's got 108 grams of fat. It's got 43 grams of saturated fat. It's got 2770 milligrams of sodium. So you can see again that this is definitely not a good choice for us. It's got more fat in it than we need in the course of the day. It's got a high level of saturated fat as well as sodium, and this is just for the sandwich. So again, if we added fries, if we added a Coke, we're going to add accordingly with the number of calories and amounts of fat. If we move along and look at Arby's, regular roast beef sandwich has got 350 calories, 16 grams of fat. Beef and cheddar, 480 and 24. Chicken bacon and Swiss, 310 and 33, all the way down to the Market fresh roast turkey, ranch, and bacon. It's got 880 calories, 44 grams of fat. It's in kind of a deli style, so it may be one that we think is healthier, but if you look at the values, 880 calories and 44 grams of fat, not going to be the best option. Now we can split that in half, where we would get closer to 440 calories and 22 grams of fat. So that would be a potential way to make that one a little bit more of a healthy option. Some of the potential healthier options at Arby's, they've got a Martha's Vineyard salad at 276 calories and 8 grams of fat. Santa Fe salad with grilled chicken, 306 calories, 11 grams of fat. Hot ham and Swiss, 340 and 13. Grilled chicken, 414 and 17. Again, that's a good example of our key terms. We've got grilled, we've got chicken, and they're put together. So generally going to be a healthier option there from Arby's. Looking at Bojangles, if we look at some of the biscuits, you can see that the bacon biscuit has got 290 calories, it's got 17 grams of fat. Bacon, egg, and cheese, 550 and 42. All the way down, country ham, steak, sausage, and you can see the values for those. The country ham has got 270 calories, it's got 15 grams of fat, which would be the lowest on both options from these choices. The country ham, though, would be potentially high in what? That's right, sodium, so we've got to keep that in mind as well. The Bo Rounds, 235 calories, 11 grams of fat. So again, we want to make sure we do our math and add the values up from all of our menu items when we put these things together. Taking a look at McDonald's, double cheeseburger's got 490 calories, it's got 26 grams of fat. Quarter pounder, 430 and 21. Quarter pounder with cheese, 540 and 29. Double quarter pounder with cheese, 770 and 47. Big Mac, 600 calories and 33 grams of fat. Crispy chicken, 510 and 26. Again, you can see how these potentially compare to what you need in the course of a day. McValue fries, 320 and 16. When they had what they were calling supersize, it was 610 and 29. Again, so you can see the comparison here between the largest size and the smallest size. Almost a doubling of calories as well as a doubling of grams of fat. So we really want to keep that in mind. If we can order the smaller size, we really are going to do a good thing for our nutrition numbers and keep the calories down as well as the fat down. So try to order the smaller size when possible. Chicken McNuggets, 10-piece, 420 calories, 24 grams of fat. If you want to just compare to what we've looked at with Bojangles and Burger King. The bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from McDonald's has got 460 calories. It's got 28 grams of fat. A hot fudge sundae, 340 and 10. So those are some other of kind of the main menu items from McDonald's, and you can see how they compare. So to put all this together, if we're looking for tips at saving calories, in general what we want to do is, we just talked about getting a smaller size. Okay, so when possible, if we can get a smaller size, regardless of what we choose, we're going to save calories. We're generally going to save fat. We want to order things without mayonnaise. We know that mayonnaise is going to be high in calories and fat, so if we can skip that, that's going to be great. Cheese is the same thing. It's going to be high in calories. It's going to be high in fat. So if we can order our items without cheese, that's going to be helpful in our nutrition plan. We looked at some of the choices for side items instead of French fries. A lot of the restaurants now have fruit or fruit cups. They have side salads, and so we can replace fries with those items. Again, just remember when we're looking at our salads to keep in mind the dressing that you're going to choose. And so, as we talked about in the beginning, what we really wanted to accomplish is to be able to make smart choices. We want to know the numbers, because if we don't know or have a guideline for what number of calories we're supposed to have in a day, or the number of fat grams we're supposed to have in a day, we don't know how these things compare. So now we have those numbers. We can look at the numbers from the restaurant and we can see how they compare. Then we can make a smart, informed decision next time we visit our favorite fast food restaurant. We talked about being prepared when you go. Again, you can go to any of the websites and they'll have the nutrition information posted. Wendy's.com, TacoBell.com, McDonald's, Backyard, Arby's. Again, whichever one is your favorite restaurant, you can go there and you can find the nutrition facts. And finding these facts is obviously going to be helpful to us in being able to make decisions. Remember, we can get the information and the printed materials from the restaurant, but I really encourage people ahead of time to look at the information, so when you go in, you don't have to make a decision then. You've already made the decision, and you've made the healthy decision for you. And that wraps up this presentation. I thank you for joining us again on this Life in the Fast Food Lane series presented by the Wellness Center and Employee Wellness. We hope this has been helpful and informative to you. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to assist you. And again, thank you for joining us on this series of Life in the Fast Food Lane.